Haven. So for week 10 or week 9 of the 2024 NFL season, 2024-25 NFL season, I'm going to be sharing with you here who I think is going to win each game on Sunday and Monday. Do I think who's going to win? We're going to start in order with the CBS. It's going to go. This goes in order by they do the CBS games and the Fox games. They do which in this order they're doing the teams that have the 1 p.m. kickoffs on the CBS. The single window first, and the 4:05 kickoffs. They do 4 teams who have the 1 Eastern and Fox second, which correlates to the 4:25 Eastern game second. So let's talk about. So we have Dolphins and Bills on CBS. Dolphins do have Tua Tagovailoa back on offense as the quarterback, which is good for them. However, they are in a tough spot to actually make it to the playoffs. They're in a tough spot. They are not out yet, but they do need to win some games. They do need some must wins. Like last week, last week, I say it's not Sunday, so they're against the Miami's game against Arizona. That was a big game, and Miami needed a win. Arizona didn't need that win. That was bad, but they need to keep up with other teams in the NFC West. So the AFC East, they need it. Staying competitive, and especially in the AFC, when the AFC is a really good standing. The AFC is like really, really good in the conference. They're still in 10th, so they're not out of it yet. So, but they need to keep it up. Need to get some wins, because if they lose, they're in a tough spot though. They're only hope. They're probably the best elite. They can't get more than 8 losses in the season. 8 would probably put 9-8 would be the absolute worst. Probably 10-7. So they need a big win. They have to have a huge win. They have to go on a big winning streak though throughout the season though too, in order for that to happen. But especially if they lose, they really can only afford 1 loss. Really 10-7 would be the absolute, I think, worst, especially in the NFC or in the AFC. I don't know. Maybe AFC could get 8, but still, if you're 10-7, no. So we'll see. Buffalo. I think Buffalo wins it though. Buffalo has just been playing really solid football this season, and Tua Tagovailoa has played well in the last game against Arizona in Miami. Played well against Arizona, but I just don't think they have a shot to win. I just don't see it though. But Miami, though, sometimes in big games, Miami doesn't show up though. Like in the playoffs. Miami was in the playoffs last season. And they end up losing, so so we will see here. The Broncos and Ravens. Now that Denver at Buffalo. Now this is a big game on CBS. The CBS single window featured game, nationally televised game. And Lamar Jackson is questionable for this game, but he is expected to play though. But with the, I don't know. Lamar is a really solid quarterback. Derrick Henry's been really solid offense here, over 100-yard average per game, and really efficient, doing in 20 or less carries to get his 100 yards per game. Actually less than 20 carries per game on average per game, and a touchdown, a little over a touchdown average per game, 100, 110, 120 yards per game, which is really solid though. So Baltimore's just really solid on the offense. However, the rushing yards, they're not the most solid when it comes to rushing yards. So G. Williams only has 90 carries for 345 yards, so they're the most solid on offense, but won't say them the most solid quarterback, but it's not horrible though. But I still think Boston wins that one. LA Chargers at Cleveland. Cleveland is this is a must-win game for Cleveland. However, Jameis Winston is playing against the LA Chargers. However, I think Winston might have some hope though. But we will see though. However, we have Cleveland is favored, but I think LA Chargers actually are going to win this because of the fact that I just think that, is it a one-game thing? And when Jameis Winston hasn't played a lot, he's been starting, but now he's going to be being backup. So I don't know. He just hasn't had that reps and stuff like Justin Herbert has had. So so we'll see though how but I think LA Chargers have that one. Saints and Panthers and CBS. However, when Derek Carr is back for the New Orleans Saints, and Andy Dalton is playing for the Carolina Panthers, but I think Derek Carr should win that one for the New Orleans Saints. And we got a bunch of questionable players. So I think that the Saints should have this one won, especially if Derek Carr coming back. They can get rhythm with their offense. Their backup not impressive, not amazing, but he's young and he's a rookie. It's his first ever season, wasn't expected to play at all, and had to be thrown in there, a bunch of games. Had to be thrown in there a bunch of games, so. Well, but I think New Orleans wins it, though. Just, anyway, no. Raiders at Bengals. Las Vegas at Cincinnati. I don't think the Las Vegas anything special. They're more of a pass-heavy team. They're not like a running team. And Minshew, I guess you're here. 6 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, which is not good. Joe Burrow, SC, has not had a great start to a season. The Cincinnati squad is only 3-5. However, I think they should be able to step up and get a nice win, a momentum building win. A nice momentum builder over Las Vegas. They had a couple of them. Could have had 4 of them. I mean, they've had a bunch of close losses, actually. But a lot of their, except the game against Philadelphia last week, most otherwise, their all games have been really close. So, I think Jay Burrow and Cincinnati have a good shot of winning that one. So, I pick Cincinnati, Washington, and NY Giants. Washington has already played one division game against the NY Giants. They already played them early in the season. Now they're playing the midweek, or mid-year, not midweek, mid-year. And they're mid-season. And they're going to week 9. And they're going to be hopefully getting a win for them. They need it. The Washington has been really surprising this week. Really surprising this year. And with Gene Daniels hopefully coming back from injury for Washington, that's exactly what they need, And Daniel Jones. He's right there. Daniel Jones questionable. Expected to come back on next week or for Sunday's game, but I still think they win. Yeah, it even says Gene Daniels is going to play most likely. So, but I see I don't see the NY Giants winning this one. I just don't. They just haven't been that impressive all season. Even they've had some close games, granted, but especially their last game. They look okay, but they didn't look like amazing though. Good enough to win though. And we got Dallas at Atlanta. Now this is a tough one because Dallas, yes, they are a decent team. However, Atlanta is a solid team. Actually, this year Atlanta is looking really solid, especially I guess they had a solid. They weren't doing amazing the last year, but I guess they had all they needed was one really a solid quarterback, and they got in Kirk Cousins, and he's been solid all year for them. Had some really close games. Had a bunch of close games. Though. Only lost 8. Had some close ones, except the only one was the Seattle game. That was the one where they had but otherwise, they've had a lot of good close games. So we'll see if this could be another one. This could be one where the offenses do really well, and the defense, whoever makes a key stop late in the game is probably going to take it. That could be the case too in defense. So we'll see. But Dallas this year just hasn't been Dallas' season. They still have a shot, but they still do. But man, this is going to be tough though for Dallas. So they need a win. They need some wins, especially in going to 5 losses really hurts them. Going to 5, it really hurts them. They're 3rd in the NFC East. And in the conference standings, they're 13th, but there's a bunch of teams at 4 and 4, so they're not out of any chance, but with a couple they could be 3 and 5. And then Dallas could be 3 and 5. But I don't know. So this is tough though. Dallas could win it, but I just think Atlanta, they've been the more smoother team, just because they've been the more smoother team on offense. Giants than Dallas is. Patriots and Tennessee. Or New England and Tennessee. Both these teams have not been playing well this season. However, they've been playing with rookie quarterbacks. Quarterbacks. Whatever they have. I mean, except for they did for a while, but then now they have such a Brissett back for New England. Will Levis for Tennessee. He's questionable to return, so he might come back. Drake May is questionable too, so we'll see what happens. But both these teams are just not playing well. But the only reason I see, both quarterbacks. I don't know, but I'm going to go with the only reason I'm going with Tennessee. This one, I think it's going to be a very low scoring game. But I think Tennessee is going to eke out just because they're at home. That's the only reason. Otherwise, if New England was home, I'd take New England. Chicago and Arizona. Now this is a tough game. But I really can't. You really can't call this. Still don't know. Chicago's a solid team. They really are. They've had a lot of close games for the most part, except for a couple against the Panthers, one against the Panthers, one against the Jaguars. But they've been playing a lot of close games. A lot of these NFL games are close, yes, but I don't see Arizona. Arizona could win it too. Arizona, especially with Kyler Murray back. He wasn't been healthy for a while. Well, he was healthy for a while, and they were playing really solid with him. Then he ended up getting injured, and he's trying to get back to the same rhythm he was before. He's doing it, and he's doing good. It's just that Caleb Williams, his first season, doing solid for his first season. It's gonna be a toss up. Either team can win. Arizona's favorites, but they have a good chance. The Bears, Chicago Bears have a good chance. Now we have Jacksonville and Philadelphia. Philadelphia is a Bears team. I think Philadelphia takes this easy. And the reason I say that is because they've just been more of a solid team. Jacksonville is a solid team, though. You can't say that they're not a solid team. The record actually is worse than what they actually are, though. To me, they seem like a better team than the record actually indicates. However, I think Philadelphia has this one. Though Philadelphia is last game against Green Bay, Jacksonville is. They were playing close, but I think Philadelphia is a better team. Than Green Bay. Obviously, they beat Green Bay, but we'll see. Especially without Jacksonville, doesn't have their new offensive line. One of their left tackles they traded away to Minnesota early for some draft picks based on playing time and stuff like that, and other incentives, like an incentive draft pick. So just for draft picks, so they really evaluate. So I think that might hurt them though. But two, we have Detroit and Green Bay. Detroit is a solid team. Jordan Love is expected to try to play on Sunday. He wants to play, and he says he feels okay enough to play. So we'll see. But I think Lions just have a solid offense. They're like the best offense in the league. You know, they're like the best offense in the league, despite their loss. They had an early loss to Tampa Bay, but you know, the last 3 games their offense has looked really solid, and they're looking to have a really solid offensive game against Green Bay on next or Sunday. But hopefully for them, they can. I think they will. So they're a solid team on offense. A solid team there, and yeah, I mean the Green Bay's defense might be good, but I think the Lions just have a really good offense, and their high-power offense. I don't think will be. I mean, I don't think will be. Green Bay will be able to score enough, though, even if they're they'll be able to score enough to help stop them. LA Rams and I mean, now their receivers are coming back. They're injured, so we'll see how that happens. But I just think, this is another bit of a toss-up game. Like Seattle has been playing solid football, but I mean, as the Titans, they look not so solid, though. So I don't know though. So we'll see. I mean, I think that though it's gonna be a toss game again. Like, I don't really. It's Rams favor about 1. Like they really don't really have a favorite though. Essentially, and then we have Indianapolis at Minnesota. Minnesota needs this as a must-win rebound game. They had a tough loss to LA Rams. And this week, on Sunday, they have a flex Sunday football. It was Indianapolis, Minnesota, supposed to be at noon. However, they flexed it up to get rid of Jacksonville and Philadelphia. That was at the noon Central time slot. Or Indianapolis, Minnesota was slated for that time slot. Noon Central, noon local time, 1 Eastern. However, it's flexed to 8:20 Eastern this game is. And the Jacksonville, Philadelphia is flexed to 4:05 Eastern. Just because it was a night game originally, they flexed it to the afternoon, the late afternoon window, the 4:05 Eastern window. The 4:05 Eastern is because CBS has a single window. If the game is taken from Fox, the game that's flexed out will be on Fox. If it's taken from CBS, flex it to they'll switch the games, switch the CBS games, or switch the Fox games. Or network was taken from. Essentially, those 2 networks are just trade games, whether it's Amazon Prime and whether it's CBS or Amazon Prime, because Amazon Prime you can some flexes from there. Fox, Amazon Prime, or Fox, or like the network CBS Fox and NBC, or CBS Fox and ABC, ESPN. But it's a must-win for, I think, Minnesota. They need they're good. They had a good loss to Detroit. That's not a bad loss, but that still shows you're a really good team despite the loss. However, Minnesota's a good solid. They need a win against the Colts team with Joe Flacco. They benched Anthony Richardson, which they want to see if Anthony Richardson can develop and become the quarterback of the future. However, he was hurt though earlier, and now they need to get him some playing time, because essentially he played a little bit last year, but But this year, he's trying to see if he's the quarterback of the future. I'm trying to get him some experience in the field, and they can't. You can't really get him experience in the field if he's not playing. If they bench him. I mean, yes, he's not the most accurate, but they're putting Joe Flacco in. So we'll see how that works. But I see the Minnesota winning this one because Joe Flacco's not bad, but I mean, it's gonna be close though. Minnesota is favored by 5, so I see Minnesota winning that one. But I don't think it's going to be like maybe like the games they're back to playing. They've played before some of these teams, or they just would have big leads and stuff like that. But I think they can have it where they play kind of close though. Get on their feet underneath them for this game maybe. Maybe they push out late. We will see. No. And then for Monday Night Football on ESPN and Suncoast ABC, I think it is Kansas City wins. And why do I say that? Well, Tampa Bay has lost the last three games. They lost. Game against New Orleans was kind of expected win, but they've had a bunch of games. And like Patrick Mahomes has not been the same player he always has been. The offense has not been sluggish. It's not been the greatest offense. They've almost every single other. Let's see, look. They've had like 1 win, 1.1, a 5-point win. So, I don't know, Kansas City's favored by 8.5, and that seems about right. Maybe won by a touchdown. Or a tiny bit more than a touchdown. That seems fair. But Mayfield sometimes has not been the best. Always been the best there. And yes, he's a more of a team that can scores a lot and throws the ball a lot. Yes, they do, but sometimes they don't. You can have a team where they're not all there, like against Denver. There's some games where they're but we'll see though. But I think, they come back, they don't start off strong. They might have to do that where they don't start off the strongest, but then they come back. But it's too low, too late. That might be the case too. So we'll see. But I think Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce can be the trio of Baker Mayfield, B. Irving, and C. Godwin. Which C. Godwin is an injury reserve, and B. Irving, Bucky Irving, he may have to play with turf toe or toe injury. The turf toe, or is it like a toe injury? Like, we'll see though. Yeah, but they did put Chris Godwin on injured reserve, so. And then they're saying that Bucky Irving may not play this week 9, because he's going to practice closer to the week. And then and he might have to get used to playing. He may not practice. He might start week 9. Then he might have to get used enough to playing in games again. Like maybe week 10, he might be comfortable enough playing again. It depends on when their bye is. Nope, so their bye is not week 10. He might play week 10 and then have week 11 recover. We'll see though. And they get used to it. We'll see how that goes. But I think Kansas City wins that one. No, I don't think Tampa Bay's all that. We'll see if Kansas City loses to someone. Which, the way their schedule sets up, they could be 9-0, lose to Buffalo. They could lose to Buffalo, however, or they could lose to Houston or Pittsburgh. They could. But they're also doing it so that the two teams play on Saturday that play on Wednesday. Because it's a short week. And they, they're for the Christmas games. So, I didn't think about that, but they are. And they could lose to the Steelers, however. They could lose to them. They could lose to the Texans. So it could be a toss-up either way. Either team. So they could lose to both of them. They could lose to Buffalo. They could lose to Houston. They could lose to Pittsburgh. They could have some 3 losses this season. So I don't see them being invincible. But the game on Sunday, however, the game on Monday, against Tampa Bay, Kansas City, I do see them winning it though and improving to 8-0 in the season. I don't think they'll be 17-0 this season. I don't think they will be on that one, because they could have a game where they lose to them. Los Angeles LA Chargers. They could lose to LA Chargers as well. On the Sunday night, they could lose. They could. They've had games where they've played like close against every team. So they could have one where they surprising loss. They could. They could. They could. But we'll see.